that works now. Test it. Can you hear it?
It's on. I can hear the music.
You can't hear us because I can see volume levels.
There you go. Now it works. Okay. Yep.
Technical issues.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
That'll get you every time.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys watching and letting us know. We had to take our studio apart and put it back together again. We took it apart because, Brooks, you were out doing some Jags showcase pieces there. So This is what happens when you take your studio apart and put it back together a couple of times. Brooks has been out doing interviews with local players and coaches, so very much appreciate that. All right, so I guess we start over?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, why not?
That's fair.
I'm not going to start over. We're just going to start right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we talking about today, guys? We're talking about Manchester United's resurgence under Michael Carrick. Is he the long-term solution for Manchester United? There's a lot of people who say yes, but then there's a rumor out there that he actually doesn't want the job. We're going to jump into that. Oed Vargas is going to Atletico Madrid. We're going to talk about that transfer and kind of the significance of it. We're talking about James Rodriguez to Minnesota United. Why everybody thinks this is such a good signing, and I don't think it's a good signing. I think it's a terrible signing. We're going to get to that. The Whitecaps have signed a one-year lease at BC Place. Brooks is so interested in this. I don't even know what to tell you. Brooks, you're going to lead this discussion, and you're going to see if you can convince me of this.
Yeah.
And then Manchester City versus Liverpool. It was a huge game yesterday. Even bigger than the other game that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the other game last night that I personally did not care about. Apparently, the numbers have come out that it's 260 million people watched the bowl game last night. We call it the bowl. I don't think we're allowed to use the super name due to legal reasons. But that was dwarfed by Manchester City versus Liverpool, who had 750 million plus worldwide watching that game. Just a regular league game, which Manchester City won 2-1. Should have been 3-1. Should have. Red card at the end. Would love your guys' thoughts on that. All right, Brooks, we're finally back.
Yeah.
Finally back. You didn't watch the game last night, the super game. I tuned in for the fourth quarter. Whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's crap. Whatever. We're not talking about that. Good weekend overall, though?
Yeah, it was fine. I was busy doing stuff and whatnot, working on videos and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it was a busy weekend.
Good, man. Brooks has put out a ton of interviews on our YouTube channel. Visit all of those if you can. Some really good ones with former players, directors, coaches, you name it, he's got it. He's been knocking it dead with these interviews. A lot for you guys to learn there. Before we jump in a little bit further, I do want to say a big thank you to our partners. A big thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net. Appreciate all the love and support they've given us. Big thank you to Next Level Training. Scotty Wright is downstairs right now training 16 and 17-year-old kids, and he is absolutely killing it. And one of the best trainers around for Next Level Training. Big thank you to Football Doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood, Primal Recovery, and Spencer Nolf. They are not only great doctors, they're great soccer players, so they know what they're doing. Hit them up if you've been injured or you need some baseline testing. A big thank you to the Michigan Jaguars, MichiganJaguarsFC.com for more information on that awesome club, which my kids play for. And a big thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. A lot more coming from Dog and Pony Show Brewing. We are doing some events with them, not only at their place, but at other places with their beer. But you can visit them on the weekend. Saturday and Sunday mornings, they play all the soccer games, so visit them if you could. All right, Brooks, let's jump in. Let's talk about Manchester United. All right. You know I do not like Manchester United.
Yes.
Do you know this, or should I explain a little bit more?
No, you're good.
Everybody knows I hate
understand
Manchester
that.
United. Freaking hate this club, all
I
right?
should have a tattoo that says that.
I should have you see, but I won't have their name on my body.
That's
All
fair.
right, why do I hate their club? Because when you win a game, all of a sudden I get text messages. I get everybody throwing things at me saying, look, we won a game with the greatest club ever again. Okay. It was really annoying the first time you guys won a game. It was really annoying the second in a row game you won. The third game in a row that you won was even more annoying. And now they've won 4 in a row. Brooks, they are 1 win away from that idiot finally getting his haircut.
Yeah, that's been going around a lot, to be honest with you, on social media.
I would almost like them to win the 5th game so we never have to see that idiot again. His stupid curly hair. All right, but that 5th game that they have to win, not draw, but they need to win, is at West Ham, who are in a relegation battle right now. They're 18th. They are 3 points out of 17th, and above them is Nottingham Forest. Nuno is the coach of West Ham. He was fired from Forest. He wants nothing more than to beat them, Manchester United, and go above Nottingham Forest. It's not quite as easy a task as you'd think, but I think Michael Carrick and his team are up for it. Right now, he has 4 wins out of 4 games for the club. Wins against Tottenham, Fulham, Arsenal, and Manchester City. So big rivals and top of the league there, Arsenal. But Man City, that was a huge win, 2-0 over them.
Yep.
1 win away from the idiot cutting his hair. They play against West Ham tomorrow. Michael Carrick could consider turning down the job. I'm going to tell you why. But a couple of the star players from Manchester United have come out and said, we think he should have the job full time. Specifically, senior members Bruno Fernandes and Luke Shaw.
Sure.
Brooks, what's your feeling? Should they give him the job and look what he's done? Is he a good enough coach for Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world? Or is this just new manager bounce? He's gone back to a flat 4 in the back. Everybody knows what to do. What are your thoughts, man?
For me, I think the rumors or whatever are just made up rumors from people just trying to start things. So that's just the English media right there. They just like to start things and whatnot. So for me, and they're not playing this over crazy soccer. I mean, they're playing counterattacking football. I think Danny mentioned in our group chat that they're just getting back to the basic old school Alex Ferguson, Man United style of soccer where we're going to sit in and we're going to counter. We're going to beat you on the counter, and it's worked. And sometimes you just really have to simplify things, and sometimes the most simple things can get you the most success. And it's happening right now. And that's 4 wins in a row, and they're at 44 points in 4th place, 3 behind your club Villa.
Yeah.
So it has worked, and it would be very ironic if, let's just say he closes in to like 2nd place or something if they do well enough, or he gets in the top 3, and all he did was play simple football when everyone overcomplicate things with Van Gaal and Ten Hag and Amorim and I wouldn't say Moyes complicated things a lot. He was very old school and whatnot in his ways. Like, he understands how to win in the Premier League. But I think overall, if he wants the job, give it to him because he's done well enough. Okay. He's proved himself at the lower levels that he can win. He's obviously proved right now that he can win. So why would you change anything?
All right, so it's not a new manager bounce. He's just gone back to the basics. He's got great listen, they have great players. There's a reason some of those players cost 60, 70, 80 to 100 million. They are some of the best players in the world at that club, and they've been underperforming. They underperformed for Ruben Amorim, but Ruben Amorim complicated things. He refused to play a 4 in the back. He played a 3, and he played out of position people. People were unhappy. They weren't putting in the work, as you could see. They got rid of Ruben Amorim. Michael Carrick comes in, plays simple football, puts a simple formation out there, and wouldn't you know it, they start winning. But here's what I've picked up today. Michael Carrick could consider turning down an offer from Manchester United to remain as the team's head coach. Excuse me. Far from being a financial issue, the Englishman could make this decision if he feels the club's front office does not view him as a long-term bet for the job, especially as they continue to look at experienced names such as Thomas Tuchel, Oliver Glasner, or Carlo Ancelotti. So obviously Ancelotti and Tuchel are national team head coaches, and their national teams will be playing in the World Cup. So that would be interesting if one of those 2 managers interviewed for the job and accepted it and then ruined their whole World Cup experience.
Yeah, they're just going to go try to, if they do this thing, they're just going to go back to shooting themselves in the foot. It's just a cycle. If the people above need to just accept that you're winning, why would you change anything?
The problem is, though, and I agree with you. Well, I agree with you. I agree.
And I will say this, too. The league is always better when Manchester United is doing well.
I hate you, Brooks.
I know you don't like that statement, but it really is because...
Why do you think the rest of us think the league is fixed?
I don't know if it's fixed. Come on. I mean, if it was fixed,
You just said the league thinks it does better if Manchester United are in the top four.
Meaning that more people will watch and be more entertained when Man United's competing for a championship.
So the league could be doing a WWE style here. And
Well, the NFL fixes things too, but not as bad as I think the EPL. I don't think the EPL does it as much.
it's very easy to when you have VAR,
Yeah, it can be.
especially with some of the VAR decisions we've seen as of late.
It can be, but for me, it's it's just something that I just think it's when Man United's good, people are watching, they're in it. I mean, it's a big fan base, to be honest with you. So
Could be the worst fan base I've ever come across because every time they win, they seem to text me.
yeah,
And I don't need to know that they won. Thanks. I know myself. I do watch all the games, keep up to the scores. But as they climb the table here, and they are mounting a charge at Villa, who are in third.
yeah.
My Villa haven't been doing very well as of late, so that's not making me very happy. Manchester United on the rise. Villa have kind of taken a dip in form.
Yeah.
I don't want to use injuries as an excuse, but our midfield's been a little depleted. We're not getting the job done. We're definitely having the opportunities, just not getting the job done. Yeah, I'm hearing about it, which, to be honest, I could care less where Manchester United finish,
Sure.
as long as Aston Villa finish in the top four. Now it's the top five because it looks like England's going to get that fifth spot again. And you remember our predictions at the beginning of the year, Brooks. I said all I want is Aston Villa to finish in the top four, top five, Champions League spot. That's all I want, Champions League spot. And if it wasn't for refereeing last year, Brooks, Villa probably would have finished in that top five, but due to refereeing crap again against us, wouldn't you know it, Manchester United get the run of the luck there.
Can't always blame the referees.
Oh, we can because they have VAR and they didn't use it. They blew the whistle beforehand and all that. Anyway, Villa didn't do very well towards the end of the season, so a lot of it was on us, yes. But that's all I want. I just want Champions League football. Consistent run of Champions League football year after year brings in better players, and then we can start mounting that challenge for the Premier League title. We're years off from that. Just give me top five. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Michael Carrick, though, when he was at Middlesbrough, did okay. He wasn't great. In the championship, he coached, as Nate says, Middlesbrough. He coached at Middlesbrough, and he didn't do very well. It was good, but not great.
But he just left this season, right?
I think it was a season ago.
A season ago, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if he built that team, he set him up pretty well to do where they are now, right now, which is first place in the EFL Championship.
Good enough, but not great, and didn't get them promoted. Kind of failed at that. So why is he then all of a sudden good enough for one of the biggest clubs in the world?
I mean, some people just have. He's played there for a long time. It's just a comfort thing sometimes. When you're in a comfortable situation, you know the club, you understand the expectations, you've lived the expectations, that it can, it just, it's not a challenge. It's not like he's climbing the hill like he is at Middlesbrough,
This is true. The reason I will say that he should be the long-term head coach of this club, of Manchester United, is because he knows the fabric of the club. He was there during the winning ways. He understood what it took and what it meant to be a Manchester United player. And if you've listened to anything that I've said over the last probably 2-3 years now, they keep bringing in managers or players who don't understand what it means to be part of that club.
Correct.
If you look at players who were there, Wayne Rooney, Roy Keane, Ryan Giggs, just some of those players, Vidic, right? Some of those players who are willing to die on the pitch for the club in front of the 80,000+ every week. That's what it means to play for that club. And every fan wants to have that be part of, have players and managers join the club and have that. Unfortunately, Manchester United have made some bad decisions in the last couple of years, and it's led to not being able to motivate players. I think Michael Carrick could be the guy to turn it around as he has here and continue the turnaround. Whether he has the nous, the knowledge to continue it past a couple of weeks and months, we'll see. I don't know. Manchester United fans, I want your...
I got some comments here.
Yeah, please, let's go. Read them off, buddy.
I do. Let's see. BX Gunner, obviously an Arsenal fan, but he says, Carrick, I hate to say, will turn United around. They have something special, unfortunately, he says. Danny chiming in. He's calm, gone back to basics, but absolutely do not give him the job yet, so Danny's not sold on him yet.
Okay. I understand that. Don't give him the job yet. What if he finishes second or third, they're not getting the first. Sorry about your luck. Arsenal aren't dropping 12 points. But what if he finishes second or third and shows a great run of form by the end of the year? I mean, they still have 12, 13 games left. So then I'd like to know. Continue. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. The ex-gunner, anyone else chime in? It's also down to how he handles the egos psychologically, which I think he's humble but stern and can get it done, which I do agree. There are these clubs where you need a manager that was a part of it as a player, or that was a part of it in some way that understands. Like in Manchester United, it's one of those clubs. Now, Man City, you could bring in Xabi Alonso or any Joe Schmo, or not Joe Schmo, but any high level like a Tuchel or whatever that never played there that could do fine.
Sure. Like
that, because I mean, Man City has history, but not like Man United history, unfortunately. Right. Arsenal, I feel like you need to know the club. I feel like that's one where you gotta be a gunner. You can't just bring in anyone. There's just some of those clubs that you just can't jump in as a manager and be like, yes, we're gonna implement this, and everyone's gonna be okay with it.
Let me ask you this, Brooks. Mm-hmm. If they hand him the job and they don't give him any control of incomings and outgoings of players, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it depends on his relationship with the two guys above him. Right. So if he does have opinion, if his opinion's heard, I'm not saying he gets to pull the trigger on all the deals, but if his opinion's heard and they value it, then I think he'll stay. But if he makes opinions on players and what he needs, and it's just going to be another vicious cycle.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. You got to listen to the managers out there every single day training with these guys and understands the game. Again, understands the fabric of the club and the type of player that's needed, because the two people above him, they're businessmen. They're not football men. They actually hired this time a football man, someone who's played at the top level for the club. And if they don't listen to him and they think they know better than him, shame on you, Manchester United. You'll end up right back where you were last season.
Correct.
Finishing in 14th place. All right, Brooks, listen, we'll keep an eye on it, but as I'll say it again.
When's Thomas Frank leaving? That's the question there.
Oh, gosh. He should have left. Listen, if Daniel Levy was still at that club, he would have been fired a couple of weeks ago. Thomas Frank needs to be kicked out. He is having a horrendous time.
The last 5 matches, they've lost 3 and drawn 2.
Yeah.
And they're now in 15th place. And Brighton hasn't been on a good run either. They're 2 points behind Brighton. And, I mean, what if Tottenham get relegated? Like, we have to play this what-if game, because look at, like, Tottenham, okay, they're tied with Leeds right now in 16th place. Nottingham Forest is 3 points off them. And what if Nuno somehow catches fire and wins some games, and now you're floating with that area, and everyone's kind of in the low 30s? I mean, Burnley and Wolves aren't catching anyone at 15 and 8 points.
They're done. Bye.
But it makes it interesting if Nuno wins a little bit and Tottenham can't do anything, and they get a win here and a draw, but they lose more. Mm-hmm. And Leeds can beat people. They've shown that they can beat people. They can scrap against them. Nottingham Forest has shown it before. And then Nuno's just shown magic with the clubs he's coached, and he's gotten it done. So, I mean, Tottenham is not safe.
I hate to say it, you're right. And if they get relegated, that's something people will remember forever. I mean, that is a massive, massive club.
Yeah.
And to get relegated as a massive club like that, it will hurt.
Yeah.
It will hurt. Even West Ham, they are huge. That is a huge club in a big stadium that brings in lots of money. They'll have to shed all their players to comply with PSR. They'll have to lower ticket prices.
Arsenal will be happy that they're gone.
I mean, it would, yeah. Anyway, I don't think either one of those clubs get relegated. I think West Ham will find a way out. I think Nottingham Forest will drop in, and they could be gone. And they'll join Burnley and Wolves, in my opinion. By the way,
anything's possible.
Wolves right now, they're on 8 points.
Yeah, they're still below our
8 points, Brooks.
Still below our over-under.
How many games they got left?
How many games do they have?
I think it's
12
12
up
or
their
13.
Schedule here.
I think they got 12 or 13 games left. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, no more FA Cup or anything. I think they all got kicked out of there.
They're out. Wolves to finish with less or more than 11 points. Sorry. I think we went 11.5 points. So above more than You said they're going to get more than 11 points. I said they're going to get below.
Sorry, I lied. That FA Cup 4th round they have against Grimsby Town, they're still in there.
They might win that one. Yay.
This is how they close, though. So let's not count the FA game. So February 11th, it's Nottingham Forest. 18th, they have Arsenal.
Loss.
22nd, they play Crystal Palace.
Loss.
They play Villa on the 27th.
Definitely a loss. God, I hope that's a
Liverpool on the 3rd of March.
See, yep.
Brentford on the 16th.
Yep, they've been good for them.
West Ham, which could be a very much a deciding, well, not deciding factor, but like that's a one that West Ham needs to win if they want to get out.
Yep.
That's the 11th of April. They play Leeds on the 18th.
Ooh.
Then they play.
Tell me they play Forest.
No, they don't. They play Tottenham on the 25th. And what if Tottenham's in a crappy place where they're just on the line and Wolves beat them, and for some reason now it's even closer with that top 13 that's going to get relegated?
This is where the fun is going to come in for the league. This is where the English Premier League is going to become fun because I'm sorry, but Arsenal, congratulations, you're 12 points clear. You're going to win this freaking thing. Congratulations.
Exactly.
No one's going to catch it. It is what it is.
Exactly. On the 2nd, they play Sunderland.
Yep.
And then they play my Seagulls on the 9th. And then they play Fulham on the 17th in the last game of the season. And they play the other team in relegation, Burnley.
They play Burnley and Fulham as the last two games.
Yes.
Two very winnable games. It's not going to save Forest season, though.
No.
But they very well could get above 11 points.
Correct.
With those last couple of games.
Maybe.
So I might end up owing you a 6-pack of Dog and Pony Show Brewing beer. Dang.
I wanted a 6-pack of chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk's not a sponsor of ours, Brooks. That's not how it works.
I know. But maybe they make a chocolate beer or something.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
They have a chocolate taste.
Oh, I do like their oatmeal cookie one.
Yeah, there you go.
Oatmeal raisin, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. All right. Listen, Oed Vargas to Atletico Madrid. Oed Vargas is 20 years old. Completed a permanent transfer from Seattle Sounders to Atletico Madrid in February 2026. So recently here. Signing a contract to 2030. The deal for the Mexican-American midfielder, a long-term target for the club, is reported to be worth roughly $3.5 million plus incentives, making a club record fee for Seattle. I got some other details and a little bit of knowledge here, Brooks, but I want you to jump in. What's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on this transfer? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Should he have gone? He's young. I know you've opposed young players going over to Europe too soon in their career. Give me your thoughts, buddy.
I'm not opposed to this one, honestly, and I honestly think this one came about because Atletico Madrid came over here to play in the FIFA Club World Cup. They had to play Seattle, and then they had to beat Seattle. They had a tough game, and Oed Vargas stood out in that game. So I'm fine with that. I think he's tough enough to play in that league. He'll be one of the tougher midfielders, I feel like, because the kid's not afraid to, mix it up with the likes of Messi and whatnot. In MLS. So I think it'll be a good one. He fits what Diego Simeone wants to do. He wants hard workers that are going to run around and press the ball and defend hard. And I think it'll be a fantastic spot for him. And he obviously he'll have to earn his minutes. He'll have to earn that at Atletico Madrid, but he'll be at a big club. Now I do wish he was with the U.S. men's national team still. That Greg Berhalter, those guys didn't feel like he was good enough, which shake my head on that one because he would have been interesting. He was a little different than a lot of the guys we have, right? Like a Luca De La Torre and Cardoso. He's a little different from.
Yep.
But I'm sure Mexico's happy with that one for sure.
Absolutely, they're happy with it for sure. So here's a couple of little pieces of details. The move was finalized just before the 2026 winter window closed. Seattle retained a significant sell-on percentage. Vargas is a product of the Sounders Academy. Made over 100 appearances for Seattle and helped them win the 2022 CONCACAF Champions League and the 2025 Leagues Cup. He made an immediate impact once he joined Atletico Madrid. Shortly after joining, Vargas made his debut in a 5-0 Copa del Rey victory over Real Betis. He said he chose Atletico Madrid over Liga MX options, fulfilling a dream move to Europe. Vargas will compete for minutes in a very crowded Athletic midfield, though. Potential for further development under Diego Simeone. It's a great move for the kid. He's already stepped on the field. He's already made an impact.
Yeah. They play next in the Copa del Rey?
Who's that?
Barcelona.
Ooh.
I wonder if it's a 2-leg, by the way. There's a 1 of 2. I wonder if he may play in one of them.
I wonder how many minutes you'll get with that. That's going to be a tough game. Atletico Madrid very much going to sit back in that and just defend. And once they win a ball, try to break out and play counterattack.
Yeah. Do you know what state?
The way they do it.
Do you know what state he's from?
I would guess California.
Nope.
Nope, I don't know.
Alaska.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Dang.
Yeah.
How do you get up in Alaska, man?
Seattle owns that territory for like youth because it's so close. Because like they,
Yeah.
So they brought him in when he was young. They identified him, and
it's worked out well for them. They retain a sell-on clause as well, so really interesting there. All right, on to our next player who's moved. This one coming to the MLS.
Yeah.
James Rodriguez. We all know James Rodriguez. Colombian. Listen, he's had a storied career, all right? He is currently 34 years old. He's towards the end of his career.
Oh, I didn't know he's that old.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people kind of forgot that he's 34. He's from Colombia. He's got a little bit of that Colombian in him. He likes to stir it up a little bit. He's had quite the career. I need to put my glasses on for this one, Brooks, showing how old I am. So he started out at Envigado. No idea who the hell it is. Then he went to Banfield. Then he went to Porto. Then he went to Monaco. Then he got a big transfer to Real Madrid. And then he went on loan to Bayern Munich. And then he was at Everton. And what a hell of a failure that was. He only played 23. He only had 23 appearances for Everton. Then he went to Al Rayyan in Saudi Arabia. Then Olympiacos, then Sao Paulo, Rayo Vallecano, Lyon, and now to Minnesota United.
Yeah.
That's a lot of clubs. That's a lot of clubs, man.
Yeah.
Brooks, good signing, bad signing. Where are you at with this? Maybe I want to ask that question before you knew his age.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna guess he'll probably play the role of what Marco Reus was supposed to be for LA Galaxy.
Okay.
He had to play more last year because Ricky Puig with his injury. And obviously Marco may play a little more this year too with Ricky Puig being out again. But I think it's going to be that type of role. He may get 20, 30 minutes off the bench to make a difference. He may start some games. Will Trapp is a little older, but Will Trapp plays deeper. I'm sure will James play maybe as an inverted winger maybe, or he'll play as a 10. He may not do a lot of defending. That's for sure. I don't know, maybe. But I don't know. It's an interesting signing. Cameron Knowles, first time head coach, long-time assistant coach with the Portland Timbers and Minnesota United, coached the second team as well. Josh Wolf is one of his assistants as well. So I feel like that staff can figure out how to utilize James Rodriguez. I don't know. Maybe they can unlock something at the end of his career where he, just adds enough to the squad and can score some goals and be a difference maker for them.
You've got a lot of hope. A lot of hope there. I hope they can do this. I hope he shows up.
Because he's left-footed and I'm left-footed. That's why.
I thought you had two left feet. I'm just kidding. There's a lot of hope there, and I think the 12 clubs that he's played at prior to that also all had that hope. Real Madrid definitely had that hope when they paid 63 million euros back in 2000 and
was it after the World Cup?
2014 for him.
Yeah, it's when he had that really good World Cup with Colombia and scored a bunch of goals.
Yes, exactly. Everybody remembers that World Cup where he scored a whole bunch of goals, and he plays really well for Colombia, but then he gets to the club team. In my opinion, this man is a cancer in the locker room, and they just move him on. I mean, he was caught at
They have a lot of South American players there, so maybe there's a connection with a lot of them.
Maybe, but, when he was at Everton, he was caught playing video games, and he didn't even know that he was, he was supposed to be where he was at, and I think he missed a game, and he's still stuck playing video games. There's this whole thing with him. I think Minnesota United are going to be really unhappy. You probably had to pay quite a bit to get him. I would be surprised, Brooks, if he actually lasted the entire year there.
I think he'll last the year.
You think so?
Yeah. I think in the deal too, it probably says I need a PlayStation or Xbox in my locker, probably, right? So I can play FIFA.
Probably.
Yeah, or Call of Duty or something.
Or Call of Duty, yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't see him making it to the end of the year. And this is a good signing now because it's the last year where they're playing soccer in the summer.
Yes.
Next year they're going to be moving
schedule change.
European schedule change, and they're going to be playing through the winter. I don't know if you've been to Minnesota recently, but
well, they're starting off it's a small condensed season in the spring, how they're starting, and then in August they will begin the European schedule.
In Minnesota, they don't actually have warm weather until July 11th, and then the warm winter weather finishes July 14th. And then it goes back to like snow and cold.
Like the UP.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. All right, so I just think that's going to be a failure for Minnesota United. Sorry, Minnesota United fans. Prove me wrong, James Rodriguez, but based on this history, I don't think it's going to work out for you. All right, moving on. Unless you got anything else on that one there, Brooks.
Nope.
All right. All right. Something we kind of want to talk about. Brooks, I'm going to tee you up here a little bit on this one. More MLS news. The Vancouver Whitecaps have signed a 1-year lease at the BC Place, their stadium, correct?
Yes.
Tell me about this. Why is it so important? What was the club looking to do? They could be leaving, but now they've signed a lease, meaning they're going to stay for another year. Give us some information on this, Mr. MLS. I'm going to start calling you that, Mr. MLS.
No, fair enough. So with this one, there's a whole slew of things. So they need to find a new ownership group, and right now the league has control of the club. So that's how it works. When ownership backs out, or the league can take over and control stuff and everything.
Sure. Yep.
So the biggest issue with this is that they are playing in multiple, because they've done so well. They're playing in multiple competitions. So they'll play in Canadian Cup, which is their version of U.S. Open Cup. They'll play in every team plays in that. They have to. It's mandatory because there's not enough clubs in between CPL and then the MLS club.
I like that. They're a Canadian professional club. You've got to play in the national tournament.
Now I believe they're going to be in. I believe they finished high enough where they're in CONCACAF Champions Cup. I have to double check to make sure if that's what they're doing. And then obviously then you have the option to play in Leagues Cup. If you qualify for that. So, remember when I said MLS, the MLS teams have options to play in certain things. You can choose. You have to play in one, but you can play in more. So the thing is, they've chosen to play in not just one, but more competitions. So that means more rental space, and you're competing with. That's university. The BC Place is where the Canadian football team plays. That's located there. And then also they share space with other stuff. They have concerts. There's a university that they share events with. So that's why they're running into issues here. And they did a 1-year lease, but what they were talking about last year was, MLS wants their teams, just like with the New England Revolution, and they finally got that across to build a stadium closer to Boston, and it's going to be grass and not turf. But MLS is trying to move a lot of its teams into soccer-specific stadiums. So they've been pushing Vancouver, and obviously they pay a lot of money for that lease, so that's a lot of money saved. And if you own your own stadium, then it's much easier. But you need an ownership group in there. And the fans don't want the club to leave. There were some things on social media where the Whitecap supporters group were saying, we don't want the club to leave. We want you guys to figure out the situation in the stadium situation. And a lot of rumors have been, Phoenix could be a destination. Las Vegas could be a destination. Indianapolis could be a destination. Somehow Detroit could be a destination possibly, because MLS wants to move them into one of those cities that have bigger markets. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Obviously, if you don't get a space for the stadium, the club will probably have to eventually go.
Yep. So this is big news within the MLS, within the league, but great news for the fans who've come out to support the team. That they now are signed to this lease and going to be there for at least another year.
I guess great news for the fans. I mean, if your team's going to leave you after 1 year, you're probably not too excited.
Right, but I mean, it's good news that they're at least there for another year and maybe can work something out. Maybe there's an ownership group somewhere within Vancouver that'll buy them. And
there's a lot of money in Vancouver, but obviously Steve Nash was a part of the original group and some other guys because Steve Nash is from Vancouver.
Yep.
Obviously, Ryan Reynolds is from Vancouver, but he's too tied up with Wrexham and everything to probably do much of anything. And they just need someone that's got deeper pockets that maybe wants to take a bigger percentage of it. Because they have 5 or 6 or 7 different owners that are in that thing. It's not just one big guy and a bunch of small ones.
So this brings up a great question, a great talking point here, Brooks. Ryan Reynolds and Steve Nash, multimillionaires. Ryan Reynolds, obviously the story that we all know of Wrexham, right? Him and Rob McElhenney bought Wrexham, and they've risen up to the into the championship now. And by the way, they're in the playoff spots. So
yeah, they're getting there. It's interesting, and they're in the cop. They're adding, if they add the cop stands, that'll qualify them for the Premier League.
But
yeah,
you said that he probably doesn't have deep enough pockets for an MLS team.
Yeah, and he didn't even have deep enough pockets for the championship. He needed to bring another big guy in.
This is true. But we did see a couple of years back, I forget his name, the owner of Bournemouth.
Yeah, Foley?
No, Chelsea. Bowley's at Chelsea.
No, Foley.
Foley, sorry.
Yes, he owns Las Vegas Knights. He's actually an Army grad, by the way. I learned that when I interviewed Brian Plotkin.
Okay.
Yes.
Check out that interview, guys.
Yes.
Brian Plotkin and Brooks
on
our YouTube channel under interviews. But he came out and he said, I'm buying Bournemouth because I expressed an interest in buying the MLS, but the franchise fee was $500 million. And by the time I put money into a stadium, into players, into staff, into everything else, I'm at over $1 billion, and I may never make that money back.
Yep.
Or I could buy Bournemouth for just under $200 million.
Mm-hmm.
A Premiership team. I got nothing here. MLS, you see what's happening. This could actually be a trend. We've seen the amount of Americans that have gone over and bought teams in Europe, right? We've seen Rob and Ryan, they buy Wrexham, and what's the whole thing to build them up? We've seen Foley go out and buy Bournemouth. We've seen, by the way, Aston Villa are owned by an American, Wes Edens, part ownership.
Yeah. Red Sox, John Henry buying Liverpool.
Because it's cheaper to go there and buy clubs than it is to stay here and buy a franchise fee, and then you still have nothing. You have to pay the franchise fee, and then you've got to put another $500 million in, and you may never get anything out of it. So something has to change here. I think this could be one of the first, and it could be a little bit of a trend happening here. Ownership groups just walking away from MLS clubs because they're not making enough money, or they just don't want to be bothered with it anymore. It's become a plaything they don't want to deal with anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think, too, what's make this interesting as well is that if everything doesn't happen, I'm sure MLS is more than happy to move into a market like Phoenix, Indianapolis, Detroit. And sorry if anyone from Detroit's listening to this, but it's because there's a USL Championship team here.
Right.
And they don't want USL to be successful.
Competition.
It is. And we're seeing it with Atletico Dallas, the new USL Championship franchise that'll come in next year. With FC Dallas doesn't want them doing anything, so they're kind of getting them stuck in the Cotton Bowl and having them to rent out to 60,000 seat stadium where they probably won't even fill out every seat. This is a game now. This is a game of markets, and I've heard rumors that USL Premier may want a team in Chicago to compete with the Fire. And Joe Mansueto's not going to want that. So let's call a spade here. If they can move them from Vancouver and they can put them in Phoenix, Indianapolis, or Detroit to knock out someone, MLS will do that.
MLS will clearly do that. They want to run the market.
Correct. And it sucks. Like, we would love, like in Manchester, where we're across the river, and or like you in Birmingham with you in Birmingham City and Villa, where like you have rivals that
rivalry, but unfortunately they probably won't ever play unless
exactly
it's an Open Cup. And
yeah, but it's rough that we can't agree that we can have teams in same markets, because that's just not how we do it in America, unfortunately. So
this is what we get when we have franchises and closed leagues.
Yeah.
So anyway, very interesting there. Keep your eyes on that. Will someone in Vancouver buy? Will the group come in and buy the Vancouver Whitecaps, or will MLS move them out to one of those smaller markets? Great insight there, Brooks. All right. By the way, the Super League is now pretty much officially dead. You and I thought it was dead a couple of years back.
We should applause that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Hold on.
Is our applause button working?
There you go. My volume was on. There you go. We didn't like any of this.
We didn't. Nobody did. Nobody liked the Super League. I guess we should apologize again for the technical issues we've kind of had today, Brooks. This is what happens when we take our studio apart and put it back together to do things. Learning. All right. So Barcelona president Johan Laporta said the club quit the European Super League officially today to rejoin the football family. What the freaking hell have you been doing for the last 5 years, Johan Laporta, you idiot? And because of an uncomfortable relationship with Real Madrid, their biggest rivals.
What is the football family like?
I don't freaking know.
Like La
I
Liga?
don't know. Yeah. All right, so just a recap.
But they are still trying to make games in other countries, though.
Yeah.
They will not stop at that. They want to get in other markets where they can
La
play a
Liga
game or
definitely
two.
wants to do that.
And Italy does.
Yeah, they do want to do that. But essentially, obviously, everybody knows back in 2020, just in the middle of the pandemic or the beginning of the pandemic, I don't remember. There's a big thing that was it in the pandemic or was it a year after? I can't remember.
It was around then.
Yeah, around that time, 2020, 2021. I remember there was a day specifically. I'd been on my phone for like weeks, just soccer this, soccer that. And Brooks, I decided to put my phone down one Saturday morning. And I was like, I'm going to spend the morning with the family and the wife and the kids and really focus on them.
Did your phone blow up a text message?
Oh my God, did my phone blow up to the point where I was like, my wife was like, you just got to stop your phone from doing that. What is going on? And I was like, oh my God.
You remember this, but you can't remember what you had for breakfast yesterday?
This is true, yes. and people are screaming about this Super League. I'm like, the fuck is a Super League? So, well, all the big clubs in the world, right? The Chelsea, the Manchester United, the Juventus, you've got Real Madrid, Barcelona. They're forming the Super League.
Pretty much everyone but the Bundesliga was against it.
Yeah. No, Bundesliga was against it. No,
Correct, that's what I mean. They didn't want to join.
And then the fans, we all came together and we pretty much told these clubs. I love the fact that everybody came out against their own club who had joined it, right? All the Chelsea fans outside saying, you don't realize the football's to the fans and this, and it was great. All the clubs within 48 hours had backed off and said, you know what, we made a mistake, we apologize. So Liverpool came out, Manchester United came out, Chelsea came out and said, we apologize, this is a huge thing. And slowly but surely the clubs started to just break apart and no more Super League. Yay, it's done, great, continue fans, we did our piece. But in the background, Barcelona and Real Madrid, for the last several years, have been trying to rebuild it.
Correct.
And they've been
Those are
contacting
just popular clubs.
all these other clubs. They want to form a closed league.
Well, also Barcelona needs money.
Well, they always need money. Yes.
Yes.
And I mean, this was never going to work with just the two clubs there. I don't care whoever they had, but today officially Barcelona announced their withdrawal from the Super League, leaving Madrid as the only remaining club from the 12 that launched the project in 2021. The Catalan club's decision came after reestablishing relations with UEFA, the organizers of the Champions League, and the European Football Clubs (EFC), previously the European Club Association. Still, shame on you for it going this long. Johan Laporta, he's up for re-election, by the way, in the next couple of weeks. I think at the end of March, there's a new election. He has now stepped down, but in order to be re-elected, he had to step down. So some legal stuff there. Oh, they are still like €1 billion in debt. So they'll pull another lever to sign this player, pull another lever to sign that player. They'll figure it out. But you know what? Go F yourselves, Barcelona. And Real Madrid, stick it up yours for continuing to be part of this Super League. It's never going to happen, you bastards.
They were those cowards. If they really had any guts, they come play in TST over here in America.
Yeah, they want that $1 million prize.
Yeah, to pay down some of the debt. That's a real league, guys. That's not a Super League. It's a fun league.
It's a tournament.
Yeah.
More of a tournament.
Yeah. That's what you got to do. You don't do these Super Leagues. You do these fun things for all people. For the game.
For the game.
Yes.
But listen, Brooks, you kind of say that and have a little bit of a jest and a little bit of fun, but for the game. But, a lot of fans have started to come out and say, this is getting past a joke. Ticket prices, these Super Leagues, and my club's too expensive this, and the club's too expensive that. It's gotten away from the fans. It's gotten now into the prawn sandwich brigade, where only the rich can afford these games. I mean, to be honest, here in America, I'm lucky enough I can watch almost every single game around the world because of the amount of subscriptions that are there.
Correct. It's all blacked out in Europe.
I still have to pay for it. I still have to pay. I must be at about $120 some odd a month for all the subscriptions I need to watch this. Now, I could pick and choose, right? I can just pick Paramount or Peacock and watch the English League or whatever. But those prices are going to go up. The prices are only going to go up. Anyway, thanks, Barcelona, for finally leaving the Super League.
Yeah.
Even though it was just you and Real Madrid, what kind of a super league would that be? The El Clasico every week? Trust me, we'd get bored of that. All right, Brooks, last topic on the card for today. Before we jump into that, again, I just want to say a big thank you to our partners, a big thank you to Soccer World, a big thank you to Next Level Training, a big thank you to Football Doc, a big thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing, and a huge thank you to the Michigan Jaguars for all the love and support you guys have shown us through the years. We very much appreciate it. Be sure to check them out, follow them on socials. We would have very much appreciate that, guys. Before we jump into our last topic, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and give us 5 stars, a like, a review, a good thing. It really helps us in the ratings. Appreciate that. All right, Liverpool yesterday hosted Manchester City. Who were you rooting for? Were you rooting for Liverpool? Were you rooting for Manchester City? I know half the people in the world were rooting for Manchester City so that Arsenal don't fully run away with the league. That pretty much would have just been closed shop at that point. The other half of the folks were rooting for Liverpool so that they can go ahead and get closer to Manchester United and go above them. I personally just want to see a good game because either way it didn't really benefit me. Manchester United, I could care less. They're going to be where they are. Liverpool are just going to come close to them. Great, whatever. Manchester City getting closer to Arsenal helps the title race, but it moves them further away from Villa in third. So I was like, whatever. Dominik Szoboszlai, 25 years old, Hungarian. Mm-hmm. What? And I've said this for 2 years now. What an incredible player this guy is. Absolutely phenomenal. He can now slot into right back like there's no tomorrow. He looks like he's been playing there for years. He can go into the midfield, play the defensive role. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. What an absolute stud of an athlete this is. He hit a free kick yesterday that you have to see to believe. He had Donnarumma, 6'5" Donnarumma, planted to the floor. That ball swerved so much he didn't even make an attempt to save it. What a free kick. And then he gets caught. He actually holds Bernardo Silva onside for the goal, the tying goal. So that ties it up. And then, unfortunately, he gets sent off with a red card. Brooks, did you see this play?
I did not.
Okay. So Allison goes up. Mm-hmm. They were up 2-1. Man City were up 2-1 at this point. So in the last couple of minutes, Allison, the goalkeeper for Liverpool, goes up to try to score a goal, right?
Yep.
He gets caught. The ball gets booted down the field, and looks like it's going into the back of the net. And Haaland and Szoboszlai are running after it. And Haaland just zoom. People don't realize how fast Erling Haaland is. He is.
Doesn't accelerate quickly, but over distance, he's fast.
Oh, he's quick. And he just blows by Szoboszlai. Yeah. Szoboszlai grabs him, pulls him back, and then gets ahead of him. And as he's getting ahead of Haaland, Haaland pulls him down. Yeah. Meanwhile, the ball rolls into the back of the net. So you're thinking, well, the referee should call play on and just call it a goal, right? So initially, everybody's celebrating 3-1.
Yeah.
The referee actually calls a goal. VAR calls down and says, hold on. Hold on. Because Haaland blew past Dominik Szoboszlai, Dominik Szoboszlai pulled him back, denying Erling Haaland the tap-in goal, which is denying of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, which is called dog-so, denying of obvious goal-scoring opportunity. So he dog-so. That's an automatic red card.
Yeah.
So
see, what they need to do, like basketball, is like when you get fouled going for a layup and it's continuation. That's what, like in that situation, that's what it should be.
There is. It's play on.
Yeah.
The referee goes, I see the foul, play on, let it go, right?
Yeah.
But VAR called down and said,
yeah,
but that's an automatic red card and it's a dog-so and you missed it, so it needs to be called.
Even still.
So, and everybody goes, well, the ball went in the net, just let it count. It was a great goal, a good play, everybody's having fun.
Yeah.
But here's where a lot of people are missing the point, Brooks. Mm-hmm. Dominik Szoboszlai, when the game was tied 0-0, as I said, hit a free kick that was out of this world. Mm-hmm. Okay, when you pick up a red card, what happens?
Can't play the next game.
Mm-hmm. So what happens if they didn't call that a red card and he played in the next game and they won 1-0 off of his free kick? Like he scores a goal, like a free kick worldie, or just a tap in with his ass. The other team's going, wait a minute, he shouldn't even been playing. That was a red card.
Sure.
Well, there's actual effects to what happens here, right? So
I guess
the correct call is made. I don't even know who Liverpool play next, but they're going to be happy that Dominik Szoboszlai isn't playing.
I can look here. I got the schedule up.
But they're the ones who are going to go, we're going to benefit from this. Good. That's how that needs. VAR sucks. It really does. But things like that are real world effective.
Liverpool plays Sunderland.
So Sunderland are very happy right now.
Yeah.
And plus, don't get me wrong,
This Wednesday.
it comes down to goal difference. I think Villa actually tied with Newcastle last year for 5th, but Newcastle had a better goal difference.
Yeah.
So Villa slipped into 6th, right? Manchester City have
Yeah.
that goal taken off of them.
Yeah.
It's goal difference. That could come down between someone finishing 2nd, 3rd, or 4th.
Yep.
So goal difference. That's why we need this VAR call was made. So,
Yeah.
but what a game! I'll say it again. The Super Football game happened here in the USA last night. 265 million, I think it was, watched. Liverpool versus Manchester City yesterday. League game, not even a super game, just a regular league game. 750 million plus worldwide. This is why it's a beautiful game.
Yep.
So, Brooks, I think that's going to wrap us up for the night. You got anything else?
No, I mean, there's FA Cup coming up here soon this week, and then there's a bunch of other stuff. I haven't said the El Clasico match between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. That's coming up in the Copa del Rey.
Copa del Rey. Yep.
So, yeah. So there's a lot going on, and then MLS is in preseason.
I say they're all in preseason. I see Messi played last night. He scored.
There is, though, what I did miss it, is CONCACAF Champions Cup is back. And I missed that San Diego beat, let me see, it was Tigres or Pumas they beat, 4-1. Let me just double check the schedule here.
You should make a minute or two video on that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Pumas. They beat Pumas 4-1.
That's a great thing. We're beating the Liga
Yeah.
MX teams.
Yeah.
Brooks, and you missed that?
Yeah, it was but they do play. They play tomorrow. It is at 8 o'clock. It's an 8 p.m. match. It's on FS2, which I do have, so I'll make sure to watch that.
Yay.
But they are kind of like playing games right now.
Okay.
Like they have playing games to play the top seed.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe San Diego is on the opposite side of Inter Miami, because Inter Miami is waiting for, I believe, the winner of Nashville and the other Canadian side they play. It's Nashville and Ottawa of the CPL team. That winner will end up playing Inter Miami in the I guess first round, if you want to call it, of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So
Okay.
But yeah, that's going on. Don't forget about that, people.
Yep.
And then MLS does start a little sooner too because of the World Cup.
Yep.
So end of February here. We're starting, so it's only a couple weeks away.
Dang, we're 2 weeks away pretty much, huh?
Yep.
2 to 3 weeks away.
It is. And what I will say, a nice thing is, as I was at this past weekend, I was at a showcase that the Michigan Wolves host every year for a lot of college coaches. Crew Academy was here, the Soccer's Wolves and Vardar play. But we were talking about how nice it is how many of the youth leagues are finishing early on purpose so everyone can watch the World Cup. So nothing's running around it or at the same time.
Are they really?
Yes, they are.
They're all finishing early, huh?
Yeah, like MLS next playoffs are sooner before the World Cup. Obviously, TST moved their dates up. If anyone saw, TST has now a co-ed division, so we'll see how that goes. That'll be interesting. But yeah, TST moved everything up, so everyone's moving everything up here in America so people can watch the World Cup. So
I love that, Brooks. By the way, we are going to be hosting an event for the U.S. men's national team, their first game in the World Cup. That is June 12th.
at your house?
Not my house.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere
Nate's house.
Somewhere a little bigger.
Oh, Nate's.
A little bigger. Yeah, maybe. Let's do Nate's house. No, we got somewhere booked out. We're going to host a huge party. 150 of our closest friends are going to show up for this. It's going to be a good one. All right, I think that's going to wrap us up for the night. Brooks, appreciate it. We'll be back next week, probably same time, same location, Sunday night. We got a lot more to get to. Keep your eye on our YouTube channel. There's going to be a lot more interviews, a lot more videos, a lot more coming up. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.